Hello and welcome to Farmer's Kitchen.
Hey.
Well, hello, Mrs. Farmer.
How are you?
Do you smell?
It smells
what's going
wonderful
on
in here. It smells amazing.
You know what? We have so many sausages from last week's smoking.
That's right. You're going crazy, aren't you? You're cooking all kinds of stuff.
So many things. And I started thinking, how many things can we do here? And I had a buddy of mine talk to me on Facebook. He said, what do you make with all that? And I said, the possibilities are unlimited. And they really are. I told him what we're going to make Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on and so forth. But today, my goodness, we've got so much going on here. It's very busy, but it's going to all come together here in a little bit. But you've got a little surprise that you want to make for me in a little while.
I want dessert at the end. Got to have something sweet after all this. Just one, it's easy.
Just a little bit of sweet.
Yeah, just a little sweet.
I hope the doctor's not watching.
No, it's not
all
with
right,
sugar.
show us what you do. We got to get this started because everything today is timed. We're going to try to make everything come out. Now we're going to do 3 separate entrees that you can do with your Italian sausage that we made.
So we're going to be full.
3 separate entrees.
We're going to eat it all.
3 shows for the price of 1.
Wow.
Whatever you paid for today's show, you got it cheap.
That's right. You got a great deal.
So 3 entrees. But what's your dessert?
Okay, wontons. You know, you can do everything with wontons. You know how you make crab ragoon. So the other day I was playing around. Remember, I put peanut butter in one, wrapped it up and stuff. So I thought, you know what? You're doing Italian tonight, so let's do something, you know, more cannoli-like or whatever.
I can dig it.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is take about a teaspoon of cream cheese.
All right.
And I have about 8 of them here because I figured between me, you, and Kelly, that's what we want. I'm gonna just spread some cream cheese on all these. And what we're gonna do.
And you want your cream cheese to be room temperature?
Yes.
And this is almost room temperature.
Yeah, it's just kind of having a rough time. But then I'm gonna actually wrap up.
Roll them up.
Yeah. And we're gonna freeze these so that we can deep fry them later.
Now, you remember the fried ice cream? Same principle. If you get it nice and cold and you want something inside the filling not to pop out on you, then freeze it. We're gonna flash freeze this, pop it out. Therefore, if we just deep fry it for just a second, we're gonna use peanut oil. Yeah,
and it's only gonna take a minute or 2, and then we're gonna sprinkle it with a little bit of powdered sugar over here. And then remember that pepper jelly I made?
Pepper jelly.
Yes.
We made this 8/14/19. So we made this last year.
So we're gonna go ahead.
Good stuff.
Yes, we're
really
gonna
good stuff.
dip it in that. That'll be our dipping. How's
Is that
that?
Kelly's recipe?
Yes, it is.
All right, that sounds good, Mrs. Farmer.
So I'm gonna make 8 of these. That should get us through for a little bit of dessert.
Just a tiny little wonderful snack.
That's right.
So you're just gonna pop that in the freezer?
And at least an hour. And then we're just gonna pull these out when we're ready for them. We're gonna
pop it in some hot oil.
Yeah, and we're gonna put powdered sugar on it and dip it in pepper jelly later. That'll be how we end our night with sweets.
I'm digging it.
Okay, I'm gonna put these in.
All right. All right, Mrs. Farmer, here's where we're at.
Okay.
One of our dishes, entrees tonight, you insisted that I make this.
And you did so good.
I made it the other night.
You did.
And you really liked it.
I'd had it at a restaurant, and I was like, I bet you could do better. And you did.
She came home, and she said, okay, I had this, and it was okay, but it would be better if we did this. So it got me to thinking about what all we have. First of all, we have white beans. Now, what we did earlier, this is the way I always do my white beans. There are other ways to do it, but this is the way I do mine. We take about a pound of beans, white beans. I love navy beans. Put those in the pan, covered them with water, brought them to a boil. Shut them down, put the lid on it, let them set for an hour. Then rinse, drain the beans, put them back in, and I start out with about 2 cups of water and 2 cups of chicken broth. Now, as those beans absorb that and it goes down, I'm just gonna add chicken broth after that. I want that flavor.
Yeah.
So we're to the point now, getting some good action. It's been going for a couple hours here. So what we don't have in here, Mrs. Farmer, is meat.
Yes, you do.
So, you remember these guys from the other day?
Yes, I do.
You smell that smoke?
Wow.
Is that not beautiful? Now what I'm going to do, now remember, these are just freshly done. So that meat has been forced into this small space. So I need to poach that meat in these beans. That's going to firm it up. It's going to cook it.
Give flavor to the beans.
Give flavor to the beans. Later on, I'll release this collagen off of here. See it turning already?
Yeah.
See it turning and
moving? Yeah.
It's cooking. That will become firm. Then we can cut that up in there, and that's going to be our meat. Now, a lot of times you'd have ham, but we're going to have a smoky sausage flavor in these beans.
Right.
Now, something else we need to add, Mrs. Farmer, if you'll dice me an onion.
All right.
Let's go a half of a good sized onion. Yes, every bit of that.
Ready?
We have put our sausage in here, more or less to poach it. That meat will start cooking in there, and the flavor, I can already smell the smoke. We're going to put this onion in here.
Ready for all these?
It's beautiful.
That's half an onion.
Wonderful. You can put more or less, whatever you like there. I like a lot of onions in my beans. Yummy. Some people put them on the back end after the beans are out. They like onions on them. I like them on the front.
Oh, cook it in it, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Ms. Farmer, if you will, let's take some carrots.
All right. How many do you need?
Let's do maybe 3 or 4. We're going to leave the peel on these. Why?
Why? It's good for you?
Because that's where all the nutrients are. Now let's think about timing your soup out here. So you've already gone for a couple hours because you got to cook these beans down. The carrots are in small pieces, the onions are in small pieces. So they only take half hour to 45 minutes really to cook and release their flavors, so on and so forth. But we're gonna go ahead and put these carrots in.
Ready?
And you can put as many carrots as you'd like.
Look good?
Yeah. You know, those 2 carrots, Nikki, would be lonely by themselves.
Yeah, they would, and they're pretty. I like the color.
The purple carrots are good for you. Beautiful. So now, if you will, Mrs. Farmer, let's do some celery.
Ready?
My mom used to always put celery in her beans.
Gotta have celery.
Gotta have some of that celery flavor as well. Let's take some
celery
and put it in here.
Yum. All right, that smells amazing already.
There's a song that Kelly was telling us about beans. I can't remember, but it had something to do with the magic fruit or something.
Yeah, let's hear you sing it.
Okay,
Okay, don't sing it. The kids would sing it for you if they were here.
They're good for the heart.
That's
what I
right.
heard.
Okay, all
That's
right.
what I heard.
Okay.
So here we go. Look what we got going on now. What would happen? Think about this. What would happen if Glenn was in here and he saw that we didn't put any pepper in there?
He called last night asking if we had any pepper.
It was a private number.
That's right.
All right, look where we're going here, Miss Farmer. Does that not
That
look
looks
beautiful?
good. It smells delicious.
Put some pepper in it.
Wow.
Now, if you wanted to, I always like just the chicken bouillon. We might drop one of those in here in a little while. But I'm going to let that cook down. I'm going to turn it down because it's going kind of crazy on us here. Got to slow it down, back it off just a hair. Now we're in good shape. I'll tell you something else we're going to do, Mrs. Farmer.
Okay.
We're going to add a little bit of basil.
Okay.
Sweeten that up even more. A little basil. To
Yeah,
go along
I love
with those
basil.
Italian. Oh, are you kidding me? You know what else we need in here? Bay leaf.
Okay. Yum. I'll squeeze
All
it.
right, let's go 3 cloves of garlic in here. All right, now because chicken broth, time.
Love it.
And we're gonna let that go for a while.
I smell that smoky smell
You
on
sure
on your
do.
sausage. It's very smoky.
All right, I'm gonna put the top back on
All right.
loosely,
Okay.
turn it down just a hair, let her simmer. All right, so let's clean this up.
Okay.
And we're gonna start project 2.
All righty.
Actually, project 3. I forgot
Okay.
about the dessert.
Oh, wow. That's right.
All right. Now, I did this recipe because you like it.
I do love
I know
this.
what you
I
like.
know.
So anyhow, I want to do some shorter Italian sausages.
Right.
So after we wrapped up, that was only 2 batches. How many batches do we
Oh my
make?
goodness.
167,000.
Millions.
So I've already grilled these and set these aside.
Okay.
And we'll show you where we're going to do that in a little while. So what let's do, Mrs. Farmer, if you will, while I'm working on this,
Okay.
cut those onions in rings.
Okay, thin?
And then cut them in half, if you will.
All
Yes. I'm going to take about 24 ounces of tomatoes. I drained them a little bit. And I've got some oregano here. Now you cannot overdo the oregano.
Oregano's
This
wonderful.
is dried oregano. And what you really can't overdo, to me, I like the sweet, wonderful taste of sweet basil. It adds so much when you do any kind of tomato dish. And I've got fresh basil. So what I'm going to do with that fresh basil, I'm just going to pop it in here. You know where I'm going, Mrs. Farmer?
I do. I'm starting to cry. These are strong. Woo!
All right, we should have used a chopper.
I'm crying. How many?
Kept
You
it
only,
out of your eyes.
how many of these do you need? About half, you said?
I'd say about half of those.
Can I put them in for you?
You can.
All right.
So basil, however much you want. I want a lot. Remember, this is going to be a crock pot for several hours. Okay, so we've got our tomatoes, we've got our basil, we've got our onions, we've got peppers coming. So I'm going to keep adding to this. Everything goes into one dish. Now we got a pretty good start here.
I like a crock pot meal where you'd let it cook.
Yes,
I love
absolutely. You're really going to like this one. So when it comes to Italian, the basil, smelling that sweet basil, that's the overtone. That's the main taste that I want to get when it hits my mouth. I want to really taste that sweet, flavorful flavor of that basil. We're going to come back with some tomato paste. Let's say 2 heaping tablespoons. That's just going to thicken everything up just a little bit. Now remember, we've already put some basil in here. We've already put some oregano in here. But here's a quick shortcut that I use on many, many, many Italian recipes. If you've got some basil pesto around, you can make your own. You've already got some garlic in there.
Oh,
You've already
yeah.
got some more basil. You cannot overdo the basil. So I know this is kind of crazy, all going in one place together. Let's put some red pepper flakes in here. If you're like me and you want this dish to have less acid,
Okay.
less acid taste, put your little sugar in there. Just a little bit.
Just a little. That's right.
And taste as you go along. If it's still a little bitey and you want some more sugar, put it in there. The basil, the oregano, and the sugar are magic. Just plain and simple. We're gonna take our brats, and we got a couple more, but these are some of our smaller brats, and they will cook down in size. So remember that when you're cooking them, they will cook down. That's our dish.
What about your little banana peppers? What are those?
Those,
what are those
dress
for?
it with that.
Really? Okay.
Oh,
and the cheese, is that for dressing it?
Cheese is for later. All right, so let's take that and put it in the crock pot for about 5 or 6 hours. All right, so being that we haven't eaten in a while, should we eat before we die?
I think we should. I'm starving.
I'm gonna put this in here for just a second. That's just a little olive oil and garlic. All right, so here's our bun. That's how you want it to look. All right, the star of the show.
Yum.
Boom.
I like it.
All right, now I grilled that a little bit till the juices started flowing out of it.
Wow.
Oh, and did it look yummy. Now, where are we gonna go from here, Mrs. Farmer?
There's all your stuff. How long did that cook?
Tomatoes. That was probably about 6 hours.
That's why it looks so delish. I could just eat that with
Peppers, onions,
yummy,
assorted yumminess,
and tomato flavor.
Tomatoes. Look at that. Look at that. You see
Looks
where I'm
amazing.
going?
Yes,
you see where I'm going?
I do.
Okay, so there we are. Now we come back with some cold banana peppers.
Yeah, I wonder what you're gonna do with those.
Banana pepper rings.
I like
You see where I'm going?
Yes.
And then
Cheese.
some mozzarella. Are you kidding me, Mrs. Farmer?
It looks pretty good.
What do you think?
Can we eat it?
You can.
Okay.
So we're going to close it up.
Oh wow, that's a big bite.
And Mrs. Farmer,
You going first?
You get the first bite.
I get to go first?
There you go.
I hope I don't make a mess here. That's very good.
Can you dig it?
I can. You want a bite?
Let me try a bite. You know, people said, oh my goodness, they share food on the show. Yeah, we even kissed one time.
We did.
Remember that?
Wow.
Back in the 70s?
Wow. That is
I
good.
just got to tell you.
Delicious.
Oh my.
Very good.
You know, we don't do many sandwiches or anything like that. So when we do, it's kind of a special occasion.
That's good.
That, Mrs. Farmer,
Pretty good.
that's going way up on top of my list right there. That's really good.
Really good.
Now we're going to turn these cameras off and eat this real quick.
I think Kelly would like
I
one.
think Kelly will like one too. That's,
Very good.
crockpot. Our beans are coming along nicely.
That's right.
The hoagies were,
Delicious.
if I do say so myself. Actually, you said it.
They were delicious.
One thing we always do when we're making Italian sausages is we'll take some meat, just some ground meat, and keep it out.
Oh yeah.
For spaghetti and lasagna.
Yes. And we did from the other night.
And it's a beautiful, wonderful thing.
Yes, it is.
We're going to take this for our very meaty spaghetti that we're about to make. Now this is my secret,
Is it your
top
secret?
secret recipe. What do we used to call it? Our high dollar spaghetti, because if you
That's
had
right.
to make this,
At a restaurant.
you go broke.
Yes, right.
But it's a beautiful thing. What is spaghetti? Spaghetti is pasta. What you put on top of that is up to you.
That's right.
Our marinara is different from a tasteless tomato marinara that you might get with hardly any flavor. This is going to be bouncing with flavor, Mrs. Farmer.
I'm looking forward to this. I haven't had it in a while.
This is one thing that you always ask me for.
love
It's
it.
one of our go-tos.
That's right.
I'm going to leave some chunks in here. I'll take our sausage in here, just kind of like we did with the beans, and I'm going to leave that in there to poach in tomato sauce.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to cut it up
Have little meatballs.
into meatball
I like
sized
that, I
chunks,
like
and
that.
there you go. Had to cut that up a little bit. Now we're going to switch to a wooden spoon.
I like that better.
You like that better? You don't like all that noise?
No. This is something the kids request even. The grandkids will eat. They don't like spaghetti. They eat noodles, but if it's your spaghetti, Papa's spaghetti, they will eat your spaghetti.
Try some grub you've never tried before. I want it to be more of a sweet than a salty deal. And the sausage that we're putting in is going to give it a little bit of a smoky deal,
Yeah.
which is a different type of thing.
Do you need me to do any cutting? I have the onions ready for
You
you.
know what? You can, Mrs.
I could
Farmer.
do your shallots. Because how many?
What I would like, you can use about a half an onion to an onion, depending on how much you want in there. That's about right.
Okay.
That's a good handful of onion. This is almost done. Now this is going to cook in the pot too.
Shallots?
Shallot.
How much of that? Do you
Let's do one good sized shallot.
All right. All right, I got a question for you. Because when I was going through the grocery store the other day, a lady said shallot. What is the difference between a shallot and an onion?
Smell
Why?
it. Smell it. What do you smell?
Almost garlicky a little. So that's the difference.
See, you got the perfect in between.
Okay.
You got a little garlic, you got a little onion. There's something special, and there's just that shallot flavor that's just absolutely outstanding. My meat's done, Mrs. Farmer. I'm gonna set that aside. All right, now we like to do as much in one pan as possible, correct?
Correct.
So I'm gonna take some olive oil. My papa called it Oliver oil. So we have onions, shallot, and garlic. What a beautiful, wonderful
trio.
combination. Okay, so we're gonna start off with our shallots and onions. The smells that are coming from this kitchen tonight are quite extraordinary.
Yes, they are.
And I'm gonna check my beans real quick to make sure we haven't, oh yeah.
Looking good?
Looking good, looking good. We wanna get these largely translucent before we continue on. All right, Ms. Farmer, I'm gonna make a spot for our garlic here. You don't wanna burn your garlic. What happens when your garlic burns? It's bitter. We don't want bitter. Now, depending on who, back when we had the 9-to-5 jobs, depending on who got home first, if you came home and smelled just this, you knew it was going down.
Oh yeah, I knew what you were making.
So let's deglaze, what do you say? Let's let them soak up just a little bit of
red wine.
A little bit of red wine. That right there,
that's pretty good.
Kind of a magic smell we got going on there. Like I said, the one thing that I really want to get going in here is that basil, oregano explosion.
Oh, yeah.
If you can get it fresh, and just load it. You can't have too much. We want to get that sweet, the onions, the garlic, the tomatoes, and the basil and the oregano, the sweet, almost fennel-y taste that you get without the fennel.
And I have some growing on I still have some growing.
Yes, you do. All right, so now our garlic, onions, and shallot are cooked down. They look really good. So I'm going to come back, and I'm just going to toss this in. Basil pesto. We start our sweet and our garlic. We're starting with some pesto right there.
That stuff's amazing.
Stuff's amazing. Pesto. A little more red wine. Let everything get acquainted in there.
What a base. That's a yummy base.
Just smell that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put our, and we made this sweet, we put extra, if we know we're going to put it in spaghetti, we put extra basil, extra oregano, extra garlic, so on and so forth. So let's come back, Mrs. Farmer. Let's see, 8/13, we put these up in August. Let's go ahead and put those in there. Now, if we got any big clumps in there, we'll kind of cut those up a little bit. There's one quart, Mrs. Farmer. What do you think about another one?
I think we need another.
Let's put another one in there. So 2 quarts of our tomatoes. We'll cut up the bigger chunks. So Mrs. Farmer, let's take this fresh basil.
Right.
Beautiful, fresh, sweet basil. And you cannot get too much basil, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh no, I love it.
You cannot get too much basil in here. Now remember, we've got dried basil that we're going to put in here. We've got fresh basil, and we've got basil pesto. So now, Mrs. Farmer, we got some dried oregano. We put a bunch. I'm talking like probably a tablespoon and a half to get started.
I like it.
To get started. You smell all that?
Yes.
Why settle for bland food when you can have flavor just a popping? Why settle? We're going to take some tomato paste, probably about 4 ounces, and about a cup tomato sauce. And that's a good start, Mrs. Farmer. Now, do you remember what we did in the bean soup? We took our homemade sausage in.
The sausage.
We put it in there and we poached it. And that way,
that'll be good.
That way, now what happens when you add a little smoky flavor? That won't hurt.
And we'll have little meatballs later.
That's what I'm talking about. If you want to cut the acidity flavor just like we did a little while ago, a little bit of sugar. And that's up to you. I like just a little bit. Let's let that get up to a good simmer. I'm going to leave this cooking the whole time with the top off so I can watch it, taste it, smell it. And I want to get it to a low boil and then back off to the simmer. I want to make sure that sausage is completely cooked all the way through. All right, Mrs. Farmer likes her mushrooms, so this is optional. We're going to put some mushrooms in here. Beautiful, wonderful, fresh.
Wonderful.
Look at there, Mrs. Farmer.
That looks good.
Does that look legit?
How long do I have to wait?
The thing about it is, the tomatoes are already cooked in the pressure cooker. All we got to do is bring the temperature up to simmer, let it boil. We got to make sure our meat attains a temperature of about 155, 160 degrees. Once that's done, and once the sausage is firm, we cut that up. You let it simmer as long as you want. If you want to let that flavor really sink in there, let it go for a couple hours. If If you want to serve it up in an hour, you're good to go.
All right, sounds good.
Let's take a break and step
All
away.
right.
All right, Mrs. Farmer, last step. What do you think?
Get to eat. It looks delicious.
The kale is the last thing. You just kind of rip that up, tear that up.
Wow.
And then we've got our meat.
That looks amazing. I
I'll
could
tell
just
you
live
what,
on this.
If you wanted to, you could put a little cheese on top of that. Get you some kale in there too.
This is wonderful. It's almost better than, you know how I like pea soup.
You do like your pea soup. What do you think?
Oh, so good. Are you going to try it?
You like it?
I love it.
As much as you like me?
I love you more, but this is good.
I like that. You know what?
Wow.
When you have a bunch of folks over, that would be a nice, wonderful dish for, 4 to 5 people.
Or let me eat on it all night while I watch TV.
That's true.
I like doing that
You do
too.
that.
I do.
Now our spaghetti is almost done, Mrs. Farmer.
So we need some noodles.
Let's see if we can find some. Mrs. Farmer, I know how you love spaghetti.
I do, and it looks like we have meatballs. I like it.
You know what? We had all these beans, your favorite soup over there, but you held out for the
I did.
spaghetti.
I'm full, but I can eat spaghetti.
Hey, tell me what you think.
All right, I'm sure it's amazing because it's going to have a smoky flavor too, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, we are sharing a plate. Can you believe that, Mrs. Farmer?
We always share. Really, really good. Thank you.
That is delicious.
It is
Smoky
delicious.
flavor there was just absolutely beautiful.
I like it.
We're gonna split our plate.
Okay, we'll share.
Shut the cameras down. Eat the fire out of this. Then it's time for dessert.
Just
quick and easy.
Right.
Kind of a fun little cannoli type thing. I like where you're going.
The grandkids would like this.
Yeah, let's take another bite.
All right.
Now this is important when you're deep frying something, 350 degrees. I actually think 325 to 350, somewhere in there is just about right. But because we have not had enough food yet, Mrs. Farmer, is it necessary to have more?
We need to top it off with a little bit of something sweet at the end. Just a pinch. Just something. It's not that sweet.
All right.
It's just, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I totally agree. All right, go, Mrs. Farmer.
Right.
Boom. Well, it's kind of cute, Mrs. Farmer.
Jelly on the bottom, and I put a little powdered sugar on them. What do you think? All right, and you dip it in that jelly in the bottom.
Jelly.
What do you think? I like it.
I really like it.
That's a good quick treat, isn't it? You know, you could put peanut butter in these and dip it in jelly too. The kids would love that. You gotta have the powdered sugar. You gotta have it messy.
That was outstanding, Miss Farmer.
Thank you.
Really unusual.
Thank you. I really enjoyed yours too. That was a good, to top it off. It wasn't too sweet either, was it?
No,
just
it
kind of a
was
good
really
crunchy,
good.
yeah, at the end it tastes.
So let's back up. We've had Italian hoagies on
Yes,
a bun.
we have.
We've had a bean kale soup like you wanted me to do.
Right, loved it.
We've had spaghetti that was outstanding, I
Yes.
must say.
And I'm pretty full.
What do you even call these?
I don't know, what you're good at that. What should I call those?
Let's call this a pepper jelly cannoli.
Okay,
Dig?
I like it.
Those are delicious. Would you like a bite, Miss Farmer?
I would, thank you.
That was Farmer. You know what? We've got lots of recipes.
Yes,
I
we
think 146 gazillion.
Kabillion.
If you would like some of those recipes, where would you go?
I go to timfarmerscountrykitchen.com.
Where we actually have stuff measured out.
Yes, we do.
Because Kelly makes
She
us.
did.
Also, we want you to be our Facebook friend. We have
That's
a lot
right.
of fun on Facebook. We talk back and forth, but it's really difficult.
It
Mrs.
is.
Farmer. What do you have to do? How many steps, how many hoops do you have to jump through to get on our Facebook
Just
page?
one big one.
What?
You hit like. I know.
That sounds fairly
Yeah,
simple,
it's
Mrs.
pretty
Farmer.
simple. It is simple.
You know what? This half an hour has flown by.
My belly is full.
We have cooked a lot of stuff, and it took over a half hour to do this.
Yes, it
I'll
did.
tell you that right now. But we have some steaming spaghetti that demands our attention.
Yes, it does.
So, Mrs. Farmer, it's all about
Good times
good friends.
and really good eats.
We'll see you next week on Farmer's Kitchen, where we're going to have a lot more fun.
I want one of those again.
I guess you can have one.
There's one left for me and one for you.
All right, I like it.
To order a cookbook, please call 502-319-0487 or email timfarmerck@gmail.com.